Welcome all to the first part of Promissory Estoppel. This is Dr. K. Sangeeta for Administrative Law. Now we will see the introduction. The concept of promissory estoppel and its evolution, which is a good relief for the suffered party, which was not a fault at all. There is no provision as such which clears availability of relief under this principle, but it is enforceable and based on equity to protect the innocent party as a shield. The doctrine itself and it evolves and its jurisprudence behind the principle. Various cases in which this principle is followed, and these are precedents to assure the availability of this principle in Indian law, are mentioned in this project. The realm of this principle is ambiguous. The Law Commission suggested its recommendation to make new section as 25A of the Indian Contract Act in its 108th report. The doctrine of promissory estoppel is based on the principle of justice, fair play and good conscience. It was evolved by equity to prevent injustice. It neither comes under contract nor under estoppel proper. The principle is that when one party with the intention of creating or affecting the legal relationship make a promise with another party and that party acts on it, that promise should be binding for the party who is making it. It will not be allowed to go back from its words it has promised, because reverting from the words will be against equity. In Motilal Padambat Sugar Mills vs. State of Uttar Pradesh and others, the Chief Secretary of the government made an assurance that in order to establish industries firmly, the total tax exemption will be given to the new industrial unit for next 3 years. Based on this assurance, MP Sugar Mill started hydro generation plant taking huge amount of money as loan. Afterwards, government makes some changes in the tax policy, saying that industries will be taxed at the varying rate. Applying the doctrine of promissory estoppel, the Supreme Court held that the appellant took a huge loan, relying on the assurance made by the government, saying that there will be no tax imposed for a period of 3 years from the date of production as the promise was made, and there is nothing like to make a promise enforceable. One party should suffer harm or damages. In the absence of detriment also, the promise is binding. Jurisprudence behind the doctrine. The doctrine of promissory estoppel is an equitable doctrine. Like all equitable remedy, it is discretionary. In contrast to the common law absolute right, like the right to damages for breach of contract, it is a principle evolved by equity to avoid injustice and through commonly named promissory estoppel. It is neither in the realm of contract nor in the realm of estoppel. In India, however, as the rule of estoppel is a rule of evidence, the ingredients of section 115 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872 must be satisfied with the application of the doctrine. But if you closely look, the doctrine of promissory estoppel does not fall within the scope of section 115, as the section talks about representation made as to existing facts, whereas promissory estoppel deals with future promises. The application of the doctrine would negate the constitutional provision as under Article 299, which affords exemption from personal liability of the person making the promise or assurance. Evolution of the doctrine in India. The history of the doctrine of promissory estoppel in India can be traced to the case of Ganges Manufacturing Company versus Sorajmul. In this case, C entered into a contract to purchase a particular number of gunny bags from the appellant for the respondent, and it was 1,75,500 bags remaining undelivered as R was unable to pay for them. When C represented that arrangements has been made for payment of 87,500 bags, delivery orders were given to C for delivery against the payment. C representative took a letter from C to the appellant requiring the appellant to have a direct delivery of the bags to the representative of R, who went along with the representative of C. Because R had agreed to advance the necessary money to C, the office in charge of the appellant did so. Then A delivered 50,000 bags to the representatives of R. but refused to deliver the rest because C's failure to pay. Therefore, R sued the A for delivery of remaining bags, alleging that they had advanced the money to C and A's representative that the goods will be delivered on time. High Court decreed the appellant was estopped from denying, and the Calcutta High Court observed that the doctrine of estoppel was not only limited to the law of evidence, but that the person may be prevented from doing any act or relying upon any particular argument or connection with the rules of equity and good consent, prevent him from using against the opponent. In Municipal Corporation versus City of Bombay versus Secretary of State, the appellant surrendered its own land in favor of the government in consideration of a lease of government land in favor of the appellant on a nominal rent. After getting possession, the appellant spent enormous sum in making construction. 27 years later, the respondent filed a suit claiming a large amount of arrears as rent. High Court allowed the parties to redeem their rights, namely the appellant's right to leasehold, the R's right to reasonable rent. It was observed that the Bombay High Court that even though there is no formal contract as required by the statute, the government should be bound by the representation made by it. The term promissory estoppel was used for the first time in the Supreme Court in the case of Collector of Bombay versus Bombay Municipal Corporation. In this case, the government of Bombay called upon the predecessor in the name of Municipal Corporation of Bombay to remove the old markets from certain sites and vacate it on the application of the Municipal Corporation in 1865. Municipal Corporation gave up that site and spent a sum of 17 lakhs in erecting and maintaining the market on the new site. The Collector of Bombay assessed the new site to the land revenue in 1940. The Municipal Corporation of Bombay thereupon filed a suit for declaration that it was entitled to hold the land even without payment of any assessment. Supreme Court held that C has the right to hold the land in perpetuity free of rent. Chandrasekhar Iyer J., while concurring with the majority, rested his decision on the promissory estoppel that the government could not be allowed to go back on its representation. Thank you.